See, Servlet in 2016, it is outdated. Okay, we should not read Servlet, I'll not tell, but we should read Servlet. But in 2016, it is outdated. In 2018 only or 2016 only, the Servlet is outdated. Will not use Servlets for connecting front end and back end. We'll be not using Servlet, but still you have to read Servlet. Why? To understand Spring Boot and Spring. Okay, Spring Boot is a framework. It is all based on Servlet concept. Okay, before understanding Servlet, you have to understand what is the meaning of JDBC. Okay, what is JDBC? It is Java Database Connectivity. It is Java Database Connectivity. So first, what is database? The database is to store the data that is used to store the data. Imagine it is a database. Okay, see this one is database. The job of it is what? To store the data. It is to store the data. Now all the database will store in the form of what? It stores in the form of rows and columns. Okay, now see, if I want to create a full stack application, it should need of three layers. First one is what? Front end, back end, and database. The job of database is what? Storing the data. But we have to manipulate the data and send it. So we have a concept called, see, we are a Java application. We have a Java application. This is Java application. Just imagine it is a Java application. This is our Java application. Okay, now see, I want to, whatever the programming we do in Java, we have to store it in one place. I can store it in file, but if I store it in file, there is no joins concept, there is no subquery concept, there is no security, there is nothing. So what we have to do, from Java to database, I want to store, but there is a problem. Java will not understand database, database will not understand Java. So they have created a library, and that library we call it as what? JDBC. See, connection from, see, from Java to database if I want to store. See, from Java to database if I want to store, we'll be using which concept? We'll be using JDBC. Okay, this is for connecting. Okay, but still there is a problem. See, by using JDBC, we can create only console-based application. What is console-based application? By using a console window, you can take the input and we can store it in a database. Now tell me, console, you will understand. All the students of people who study Java, they'll understand. Will understand. Now tell me, our parents will understand the console-based? No. What they'll understand? They'll understand only the front-end based. Understanding. Now they'll understand only front end. You know, front end HTML forms. You can display it in a beautiful way by using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React, JS. Now I don't want to take the data from back end. I should take the data from the front end. I should take the data from the front end. So imagine it is front end. Okay. Now what is front end? Front end is in the form of forms. You know forms, no? They'll enter username. Next, they'll enter what is a password, and we'll be having a submit button. Okay, the text looks like this. UN. Username. Next, they'll ask what is a password. Then we'll be asking a login button. We'll be having a login button. Done. Can you see this is a login button? Now I should enter the username. I should enter the password. I should enter the username. I should enter the password. Now tell me, data should be stored in the front end only, or it should go for the database? Database. But there is a problem. See, front end is which language? Front end is a HTML. See, it is like markup language, tag-based language. Database is which language? Query language. It is in the form of select star from EMP. Now, front end will not understand database. Database will not understand front end. But we already have a concept of taking the data from Java and putting to the database, or giving into the database, and that concept is known as what? JDBC. But I want to take the data from front end to back end, no. I want to take the data from front end to back end, no. And that concept or that library we call it as servlet. That library we call it as what? Servlet. Understood? See, understand the agenda of this thing is what? See, taking the data from backend to database is known as what? JDBC. Taking the data from front end to Java is known as what? Servlet. By using this, we can create which application? By using this, we can create a full stack application. We can create which application? We can create a full stack application. What is full stack application? What is full stack? By using full stack, we can create which application? Web application. What is a web application? Which is accessed through the browser window. And this web application will be accessed with the help of client server architecture. What is client? The front end is known as client. What is database? Database is a server. Okay. Then see, why did we study core Java? To understand these libraries. See, after completing core Java, if you go with Selenium package, if you master Selenium, you'll become automation tester. After completing core Java, if you go with Kotlin, you'll become Android developer or iOS developer. After completing core Java, if you took this package called JDBC and J2EE, you'll be called as full stack developer. But what is a framework? What is a framework for JDBC and Servlet? The framework will be Spring. Why? See here, more boilerplate codes. If there is more boilerplate code, mean we have to write the repeated code. See, if you go for JDBC, every time you have to close the connection, every time you have to open the collection for every class. Is it easy or tough? Tough. And to make it easy, we have to go with Servlet. I'll tell you what is Servlet. Listen. See, in JDBC, connection is done manually or automatically? Manually, with the help of get connection method. This we are doing it manually, but in Spring Boot, automatically everything will be done. It will be done automatically. Understanding? And that is known as Spring. But what is our class? This class is our Servlet. See, if you understand Servlet only, you'll understand Spring in a better way. So I'll be giving a quick introduction. See, what is Servlet? It is nothing but taking the data from front end to backend, or we call it as client server architecture. It is based on request and response protocol, and this request and response protocol will be worked based on HTTP architecture. You know what is HTTP? Tell HTTP. Hyper Hypertext Transfer Protocol. It means what? The front end screen is there, no front end. That front end, that is all known as hypertext. Why? What is the meaning of hypertext? A text which contains a links to another text. If I click, it will transfer to the particular data. No, that is why it is known as HTTP architecture. Okay, now front end will be work based on which protocol? Request and response protocol. This request and response protocol is based on what? HTTP. See, understand. You studied core Java, no? I don't even care about core Java. If you know method abstraction concept, if you know abstraction concept, if you know inheritance concept, if you know polymorphism concept, if you know encapsulation concept, that is enough. After this, you have to understand the first library or the first framework is known as collection framework. Now tell me, collection framework is loosely coupled or tightly coupled? Loosely coupled. Then come to JDBC. Is it loosely coupled or tightly coupled? Loosely coupled. Come with Servlet. Is it loosely coupled or tightly coupled? Loosely coupled. Go to Spring. Again, it is loosely coupled. How loosely coupled is achieved? With the help of interfaces. Understood? This is a client-server architecture. Okay, from front end I'll take the data to Java. From Java I'll connect it to the database. Why? Because front end is a markup language. Database is a query language. See, from front end I'll take the data to Java. It is in the form of string. Now I'll convert the string in the form of int, date, time, everything, and I'll send it to the database. Okay.